My name is Shirley, and I'm 31 years old. I feel incredibly fortunate to own my own home, especially given the current economic challenges in Canada. However, my husband Mark doesn't share the same outlook. He often adopts a negative perspective, partly due to his pride. Right now, I'm in a more lucrative position than he is, while he's stuck in a lower-paying job that has become a source of frustration for him. On top of that, his mother's constant criticisms make things even harder. She frequently compares him to others, highlighting people like Steven, who's now the CEO of his company, while Mark manages a local grocery store. These comparisons have had a significant impact on Mark's self-esteem. During their conversations, she pushes him about his job, questioning why he hasn't achieved more, despite his education. Caught in this cycle of negativity, Mark once claimed he was the sole owner of our house, hoping to gain some respect from his mother. He pretended that the house was bought with his money, hoping that would silence her disparaging remarks. Despite knowing the truth, I supported his little fabrication. I knew it was important to him to feel respected by her, even if it meant letting him have that victory, if only for a while. At first, his mother seemed pleased, but soon enough, she continued to push for more, urging him to aim for a higher-paying job. The pressure she placed on him was immense. As his partner, I stood by him, hoping to provide the support he needed, even amidst the challenges we were facing together. Looking back, I realized that allowing Mark to claim ownership of our house was a mistake. It gave him the chance to undermine and disrespect me, especially in front of his mother. When she visited, he would adopt a domineering attitude, flaunting a sense of authority that wasn't truly his. It was I who worked hard to secure the comfortable, beautiful life we had, but in those moments, Mark seemed determined to erase that truth in her presence. His behavior became more aggressive. He'd call out to me, "Shirley, come downstairs. My mom's here and wants food and a foot massage," as though I was meant to cater to their every need. I would rush to do as he asked. All the while Mark and his mother would talk at length, ignoring me. One day, after I complied with his command, his mother commented, "It's good to see you're finally acting like a man. I'm surprised Shirley puts up with it, considering she's the breadwinner." Mark quickly retorted, "Yes, but I'm the one who owns the house, so she has to respect me." Inside, I would roll my eyes at these exchanges. His sense of entitlement was troubling, yet I understood that this facade was somehow important to him. It seemed like a way to mend his broken relationship with his mother. They had once been close, but that bond had been strained after Mark dropped out of college to pursue a failed get-rich-quick scheme. That failure left him broke and discouraged, and his decision had only deepened the rift between them. Now, as he tried to repair their bond, his mother often dismissed him, praising his more successful brother, Steven. "Oh, I forgot to mention, Steven will be joining us for dinner," Mark added one day, as though on cue. "Come on, Shirley, let's go make some food." Through it all, I remained supportive, understanding that beneath his flawed actions, Mark was desperately trying to regain some sense of dignity and approval from his mother. After a long day at her job, Donna would often vent to me about Mark's shortcomings, lamenting, "He must be tired after working all day at that big company." "Ah, fine," she'd sigh, and then the complaints would pour out. Sometimes, Mark would overhear these conversations. Donna didn't even try to hide her gossip, and it only fueled Mark's anger and need to assert control, reinforcing her dominance in the household. You might wonder why I tolerated this situation for so long. 9 months, to be exact. My patience, however, was finally wearing thin. One day, while Donna and I were in the kitchen, she launched into her usual tirade about how disappointed she was in Mark. "It's just so sad, having a loser for a son," she sighed. "Yeah, I'm sure it is," I responded flatly. She looked at me sympathetically. "Honestly, you're stronger than me. I might have left him a long time ago if I were you." In those moments, I was at a loss for words. I couldn't quite agree with her, but at the same time, challenging her felt equally impossible. So, I muttered something non-committal and let it go. A couple of hours later, Steven arrived. Mark, already in a sour mood, greeted him with a coldness that hung in the air. Steven, ever the optimist, entered the kitchen with a cheerful tone. "Hey, Shirley, hey, Mom," he greeted, his smile bright. Donna's face lit up when she saw Steven. "Oh, my dear, welcome, you're just in time. Let's set the table. We need to talk to Mark soon. This has gone too far." "Talk to Mark about what?" I asked, anxiety creeping into my voice. Donna's response was cryptic, laced with something serious. "Oh, you'll find out soon enough. Our visit isn't just a friendly one. We've got something important to discuss." After we set the table and said grace, Donna decided it was time to drop the bomb. I have something to say. Stephen and I have been discussing this for a while now, and I think it's time we brought it up with you, Mark. She hesitated for a moment, her tone shifting into something more serious. Yeah, Stephen chimed in, nervously. You know, your job right now, it isn't enough to sustain. Don't sugarcoat it, Stephen, Mark snapped sharply, cutting him off. Stephen paused, then went for it. What I'm trying to say is, your job isn't good enough for you to keep this house. The words hit me like a cold splash of reality. Both Mark and I were stunned, caught off guard by the bluntness of the confrontation. We'd been found out. You can't keep this house, Donna declared, her voice a mix of concern and authority. Well, not under your name, at least. Owning a house is a big responsibility, and we don't want to see you struggle to pay for it. So, I think it's best if your older brother takes over the ownership. It'll save you from future problems. Mark and I both exclaimed in unison. What? The shock in our voices was palpable. I'm sorry, but that's not happening, Mark replied, his tone unexpectedly firm. Why not? We're trying to help you, Mark, Donna protested, her voice softening slightly. I'm not a kid anymore, Mom. I can handle owning a house. I don't need you treating me like some charity case, Mark shot back, frustration rising in his voice. Oh, Mark, don't be stubborn, just go get the title deed. Let's discuss it and go over the details, Donna urged. At that moment, the truth hung heavily in the air. Unbeknownst to Donna and Stephen, I was the actual owner of the house. If they saw the title deed, it would unravel everything we'd carefully constructed, potentially alienating Mark from his family. But I knew the deception couldn't last forever. I exchanged a glance with Mark and realized it was time for honesty, even if it was uncomfortable. Donna, Stephen, thanks for bringing this up, I began, my voice steady. It's time we tell you the truth about everything. What truth? What's going on? Stephen asked, confusion evident in his tone. Well, you see, we've been keeping something from you, I said, but before I could continue, Mark abruptly interrupted. Oh, yes, the truth is, we can't find the title deed, he said, his voice strangely convincing. I was taken aback by his improvisation. I had hoped he would tell them the truth, but instead, he opted to fabricate yet another lie. We must have misplaced it when we were moving stuff around in the attic. You know how cluttered it gets up there with all our junk. It's probably somewhere in the mess, Mark added, sounding almost believable. Come on, Mark, you should know better than to lose such important documents, Stephen scolded, disappointment clear in his voice. Well, what do you expect from your little brother? He's pretty clueless, Donna chimed in, reinforcing the stereotype that Mark was the less capable sibling. Her casual dismissal of his abilities stung, but it also made it clear that the truth could no longer be avoided. How he even managed to buy a house is beyond me, Donna muttered, shaking her head. I'll search for the papers. Give me a couple of days to sort everything out. This complicates things, she continued, her frown deepening. We wanted to resolve this quickly, but okay, just find the documents and let us know as soon as you can. While the rest of the group continued to chat lightly and enjoy their meal, I sat in silence, troubled by Mark's actions. He had the perfect opportunity to come clean, but instead, he chose to add another lie to our already fragile situation. Lies, as everyone knows, only compound problems the longer they're kept. After Donna and Stephen left, I couldn't hold it in any longer. Seriously, Mark, why would you do that? I demanded, my frustration bubbling to the surface. I had to do it. Surely, there was no other choice, he defended stubbornly. There's always a choice, Mark. You've been maintaining this facade for far too long. Eventually, the truth is going to come out, I countered, my voice firm. I don't need a lecture from you. Surely, I'm a grown man, Mark snapped, irritation thick in his voice. Then start acting like one. Taking responsibility for your actions is more mature than hiding behind lies, I shot back, my patience running thin. Enough, Shirley, stop nagging me. You always act like you're in charge, bossing me around, but here's the thing, you're nothing without me, he blurted angrily. Excuse me? And whose name is on the title deed? Because it's certainly not yours, I retorted, frustration boiling over. Maybe it should be, he snapped, his voice dripping with venom. I couldn't believe my ears. How dare you? I exclaimed, my voice rising in disbelief. You ungrateful, spoiled brat. I'm the one who runs this house, and I'll do what I want. It doesn't matter if your name is on the title deed, this is my house, and I make the rules. I'm going to get that title deed changed to my name. It'll take about 7 weeks, but I'll tell Mom it took longer than expected. Now go get the deed." His words hit me like a slap, and I stood there, utterly speechless. In 5 years of marriage, Mark had never spoken to me with such hostility. His constant need for his mother's approval had pushed him to this point of aggression, revealing a side of him that was shocking and deeply unsettling. Though his behavior was inexcusable, I wasn't the type to back down easily. Some might call it petty, but I saw it as simply making him face the consequences. Still, I knew that retaliating directly would lead to nothing but more shouting and hurt feelings. Instead, I decided on a more calculated approach. I went to our home office, where I knew the deed was kept. Finding it was easy. I was always the meticulous one in our household, but instead of just handing it over, I had a different plan. I made a photocopy of the deed. It was just a simple black and white copy, lacking the official stamps and intricate details, but it was perfect for what I needed. I slipped the photocopy into Mark's work bag and stashed the original in my secret safe, a place he didn't even know existed. "I put the photocopy of the deed in your work bag for tomorrow," I said casually. "I know you leave early, so I took care of it for you. You'll find it in there." "Great. I'll need to contact the title company to start the process," he replied, assuming everything was in order. The next day, my phone rang. It was Mark. "Hey, babe, you put a photocopy of the title deed in my bag. I need the real one for the process." "Oh, did I?" I feigned innocence. "My mistake. The guy here won't accept the photocopy. Since your name is on the deed, I think you should be involved in the process too." Mark's tone turned sharp. "Unlike you, some of us have demanding jobs that require our full attention." "Then let's schedule a meeting to discuss this," I suggested, keeping my voice neutral. "What did you just say to me? Do you need my help or not?" he snapped. I knew I had angered him, but at this point, I didn't care. I wasn't going to let him off the hook so easily. He needed to learn a lesson. I was done being accommodating, and if a little petty behavior was what it took, then so be it. "Yes, I need your help." "Fine, I'll handle everything." "Okay, bye," he conceded, clearly frustrated. Tension simmered between us, but I wasn't backing down. The days of tolerating his disrespect were over. I was determined that Mark needed to face the consequences of his actions. A week passed, and Mark threw himself into a frantic search for the title deed. He combed through every inch of our office, even though he knew it wasn't there, and dared to dig through the attic, despite knowing the chances of finding it were slim. Desperate times, desperate measures, right? He spent the next week tirelessly searching, even taking time off work to do so. Part of me felt guilty watching him search, day after day, but then I reminded myself this was a necessary lesson. He needed to understand the consequences of his deceit and how his actions had undermined our relationship. As I reflected on the hurtful things he had said to me, any sympathy I might have felt faded. He'd been avoiding calls from my mother-in-law and actively ignoring Stephen, fully aware he'd missed the deadline by a wide margin. Then, one evening, my phone rang. It was a joint call from Donna and Stephen. "Hello, dear. How are you?" Donna's voice came through. "I'm good, thanks. How are both of you?" I responded, trying to keep things light. "Not good, dear," Donna said, her voice tinged with concern. "We've been trying to reach Mark, but he's been ignoring our calls about the title deed." "Yes, I've noticed he's been avoiding your calls. Is everything all right on your end?" I asked, already knowing the answer. "No, actually," Donna said. "He still hasn't found the deed." "That's concerning," I agreed. "Mark needs to get it together." "I've been telling him the same, but he doesn't seem to listen," Stephen added. "We'll come over tomorrow to help him look for it. Tell Mark to take the day off. It's not like he's doing anything important anyway." "I think we should give him more time," I said half-heartedly, knowing it probably wouldn't matter. "I've waited long enough. These things take time, and the sooner we get it sorted, the better." "Surely, make sure Mark is ready for a long day of searching," Donna commanded. "Got it, Mom," I replied, keeping the details to myself. I didn't want Mark to be spared the consequence of his actions. He thought he was taking a day off to rest, but tomorrow he'd be confronted by his disappointed family. The next morning, while Mark was still sound asleep, Donna and Stephen burst into our bedroom. "So you're sleeping instead of finding what needs to be found?" Stephen snapped. "Unbelievable. It's not a good look, bro. We took time off to help you, and you're just sleeping?" Mark groggily sat up, caught off guard. "What's going on?" "We told Shirley we'd be coming to help, but it seems like you didn't want us to," Donna said, her disappointment clear. "No, Shirley didn't say anything to me, Mark quickly defended, still disoriented. Don't blame her. She's been holding things together while you've been MIA, Steven said, glaring at him. Why weren't you answering our calls? I was just busy, Mark mumbled, the excuse sounding weak even to his own ears. Busy sleeping, it seems, Steven retorted. Anyway, get up, we need to start searching. I stood up from where I'd been quietly listening outside the door, and all eyes turned to me. You don't have to search, I said, my voice calm and steady. I have the deed. The tension in the room thickened as I handed Donna and Steven the real deed. There was no denying it now. My name was clearly printed as the owner. Why didn't you tell me they were coming? Mark exclaimed, frustration seeping into his voice. I've been exhausted from all this searching. And why didn't you say you had the deed? He added, his tone accusatory. Because there's something you all need to know, I said, cutting him off firmly. Mark doesn't own this house. I do. My name is on the deed, not his. He's been lying to all of you, and I went along with it because I loved him, but his recent behavior has made me reconsider. It's time you all knew the truth. Mark's face went pale. No, Mom, she's lying. His voice lacked conviction. I turned to Donna and Steven, handing them the deed. Here's the truth, I said calmly. Mark tried to defend himself, but Donna interrupted. I can't even look at you right now, Mark. You've lied to us for so long and treated Shirley like this. It's too much. You're pathetic. Steven's voice was filled with anger as he spoke. You're unbelievable. You said horrible things to Shirley, attacked her, and now we find out you've been lying to everyone? You need to grow up, and don't even try to defend yourself. You've wasted all of our time. Mark stood there, stunned, as Steven continued, his voice sharp. I should punch you right now, for wasting Mom's time, for wasting my time, and for wasting Shirley's time, energy, and love. You treated her like garbage, and she put up with it. Save it. Don't bother contacting us for a while. Steven snapped before following Donna out of the house, leaving Mark and me alone in the silence. I turned to Mark, my voice steady but full of reproach. You know what's funny? You call me ungrateful, but you're the truly ungrateful one. You're pathetic. Your behavior disgusts me. I'm glad your mother and brother finally saw you for who you really are. Mark stood there, dumbfounded, as the weight of the situation settled over him. And you're right about one thing, I added, my tone sharpening. You might be a man, but you're not the head of this house. If you want to stay here, you better start respecting me and pulling your weight. Otherwise, you can find somewhere else to be. Mark's face twisted with shock and realization. He'd ruined 3 important relationships in one fell swoop. He hadn't expected me to stand up for myself. And now, the consequences were clearer than ever.